Oh, you didn't know? Shout out to DX. What's good, everybody? Welcome into your daily sports betting brand of record. We are called The Early Edge. We are powered as always by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting. And it's not close. As you can see, we have left the friendly confines. We are on the road this week. Getting ready to do the Byron Nelson. More on that in a moment. But many of you, I see already, Schwan50 says, morning, SportsLine Early Edge fam. You know I already got some of the plays in. Let's have a profitable day. If you're a SportsLine member, you've got all these plays already an hour ago. But, as always, the most transparent show in all of sports betting. And yesterday, kind of a ho-hum day. Not bad. We won a little bit. Prop Stars 2-0 again. Buckets. In addition to those soccer plays, I also hit Nottingham Forest over 1.5 in the footy today. The footy, we may have a pick there too, because I am your new soccer capper. If you'd like to go with buckets, he's in the chat right now. He'll answer any questions you have. Champions League semis today in real time. I will have a pick on that game today. But with all that being said, you know later today as well, 3 p.m. Eastern time, we picked a, 75-1 winner just last week. My man Sia Nejad. And we got the Byron Nelson. I am calling it PGA Tour Live this week on ESPN Plus. So with all that being said, let's bring in the stars of the show because they are chomping at the very bit. We do everything differently here. This is the start of our week, and I'm going to start right where we left off graphically. He is the counselor of cash. Are you ready for the early wedge later today, sir?
I can't wait for the early wedge, and I can't wait for the PGA Championship, which comes up next week. And yeah, I hit the 75-1 at the Zurich Classic. We know that Mike McClure, who's here with us today, obviously hit a huge number on Nick Hardy and Davis Riley. It was the week before that. I had the first round leader with Aaron Rye. You've been hot. Patrick McDonald's been hot. It's a great show. Let's keep running hot. But here, we're going to see some NBA and MLB coming from me.
Oh, that is very, and as I said, the footy from me and M Squared. You are live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody out there. Fired up for some baseball today. I can't wait for the NBA playoffs, though. These playoff series has been pretty good. Can't wait for that Denver game tonight. It's been fun to watch the Suns battle.
Hasn't it been a blast? And I was going to give a shout out to the Lakers. I got my Lakers hat on today. Last night, going up 3-1 on the Warriors. Can you believe it? Oh, by the way, the counselor hit the Heat -4.5. No money line for you. No bueno. Now, this man is all over the NBA. You talk about NBA. He is our aficionado. Mikey B. Mike Barner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, last night was the Lonnie Walker game, and 2 nights ago was the Landry Shamet game. What's going on? Is this playoffs or regular season?
I don't know. Players are scoring that we don't even have props on.
Yeah.
That's how bizarre it's been. And finally, oh, my goodness. I don't know which version you like better, grumpy or in a good mood, but I like when he's here. He is the sniper, Matthew Snyder. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I wanted to send out apologies to Mason Miller. You know, we kind of rode him hard on the K props the last 2 times out. We hit the over on his last better faced in each of the last 2, and now he has an arm injury. It's unfortunate, especially for us because we were really getting I was really starting to enjoy that ride where I had to sweat it out until the final batter he faced to hit the K prop.
I thought that we were going to send him like a bouquet of flowers just to thank him for all the cash tickets.
This will do.
Mr. Miller. This will do. You're absolutely right. All right, I've got all-stars today, so we got to get to it. And we're going to start with marquee matchups tonight. As Mikey already said, there are 2 big NBA games tonight, and we are here for it. So let's play fade or follow. And M Squared, we're going to start with you. So the Celtics, 7.5-point favorites tonight. The total sitting at 213. It's oh so very tasty. They're dangling that total right in front of you. M Squared, are we fading or following the Celtics as a 7.5-point favorite?
I'm going to follow them in the first half. I like them on the first half line. I think that they start strong at home here. They've had trouble closing at times. We've seen some drama. We're starting to see more drama. And the longer this series goes on, I think we're going to continue to see drama between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. If you watch Jaylen Brown's press conference talking about maybe he needs to try and get the ball a little more late in game situations, very interesting to see that, but I expect them to come out focused. I like the Celtics early in this game.
Haven't we seen a lot of that? Because Jaylen Brown did that interview 2 months ago where he was very cryptic about his future in Boston, and now this. You don't like to see it in the middle of a playoff series. Mikey, thank you. Counselor, I'm coming to you. Are you following the Celtics? -7.5.
Real quick, Mark in the chat, they are kind of just kidding with the cold streak thing. You're without the context there. I had lost like 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5 in the midst of a 17 of 23 win streak, and somebody mentioned a cold streak.
Focus!
In my honor, but anyway,
Focus!
I think these lines are reversed, and I'll get that. I'll get to what I mean in a second. But I think this is too big. I think 7.5 is too big. I'm gonna lean with the Sixers here, and again, I think maybe it's the Denver line that should be 7.5, and this one that should be 5.5 at this point.
Interesting. You think the Nuggets should be more? We'll get back to that in a second. All right, Mikey B, we're coming to you because we've got 2 different plays already. What say you?
Yeah, I'll make it a third different. I want no part of the spread. These 2 teams are very inconsistent simply because James Harden is inconsistent for the 76ers. And believe it or not, Jason Tatum's been pretty inconsistent for the Celtics. But I do like the total, going over the total of 213. That is hit in 3 of the 4 games in this series. So I'd rather play the total than take a look at the spread.
Mikey, that's exactly what I was going to say, because Doc Rivers said even though Joel Embiid needs to be a huge, important part of the offense, he wants him to play with more pace. And he said that in a timeout, did he not? In game 4, he said that. I love the total tonight. Now, game number 2. Thank you very much, Snake. The Nuggets, minus 5.5. This series has turned into an absolute banger, Mikey. An absolute banger. So, we're going to start with you. The total sitting at 227.5. This soared into the 250s in game 4. Are we fading or following the Nuggets as a 5.5-point favorite?
Yeah, this spot is interesting. I'm not touching the spread in this one personally. I think Phoenix, the way they're playing, can definitely get it done. It takes heroic efforts from Booker and Kevin Durant, but no signs of stopping them here at this point. I'm still interested in the total. I want to go over the total once again. The only spot, I've been saying it every game, whether it's here or on HQ, the only spot that Denver is vulnerable is they are terrible in transition defense. The only plan of attack for the Suns should be to push the pace as much as they can. We'll see if they're able to do it again at altitude or not. But I think we should see plenty of points here because they are certainly not stopping Jokic down low. I think that Jamal Murray's probably going to have a fine game shooting from the perimeter on his home floor as well. So I like points again in this game.
I'm imploring you, listen to the man. Now, Counselor, your nemesis in the chat, Buckets. Do you know what he just said? He said, your face is amazing. He said the Nuggets winning by at least 15 today. You heard it here first, Coach. Sia, your thoughts on your nemesis?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. I got to be honest with you. I mean, listen, if you're a SportsLine member, you're seeing this 5.5 and you're blinking a couple times because you got it at 4.5 2 nights ago when somebody on this show put it out at 4.5. And we also had Alex Proppy who put it in as a money line play at minus 190 on the SportsLine app right when the line came out. Now it's minus 210. So clearly here, I'm going with the better team, the better depth. I don't think Durant and Booker are going to be nearly as efficient, and I don't think we're going to get the contributions from kind of the third team off the bench in guys like Terrence Ross and Landry Shamet. So I'm Nuggets all the way here.
All the way, Nuggets. I'm so scared to do that, but confidence that you have. Mikey B, do you have the same confidence in the Nuggets that Sia has?
I wouldn't say I'm exuding confidence like he is, but I will still take the Nuggets to cover the spread. They're 29-16-1 against the spread at home, including the regular season. They are just an awesome home team. They won both home games in this series by at least 10 points. So leaning that way, definitely for me. I can't wait to see Jokic go off again tonight. That's what I'm most excited to see.
Well, I tell you what, Devin Booker said in his post-game press conference, he goes, we'll let him score 50 every game as long as we can play like we did tonight. Very interesting that he would say that. Very, very interesting. All right. Now, as you know, last night, Buckets, who's in the chat, if you have any questions for him, put them in real time. I will have a pick today, but you saw him last night on HQ. You saw M Squared on HQ. You saw AB on HQ. We are taking over Early Edge almost every single day right here.
Get breaking news.
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
Highlights and instant reaction.
The largest final round comeback in Ford Championship history. We're down to the Final Four.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
Taylor just said, Sia's making me feel better about this series. He has a tendency to do that, Taylor. He has a tendency to do that. All right. Now, Sniper, we've made you sit there long enough. I'm telling you, I want to play Fade or Follow. It's a dog day. It's a dog day. Blue Jays, very slight against Philadelphia. Houston, very slight against the Angels. By the way, Angels last night won by 2 late. Red Sox plus 158 in Atlanta to take on the Braves. Sniper, start us off. Which dog are you following to the pay window?
Well, first of all, you always say you made me wait too long, but actually it's kind of cool because I started watching the NBA playoff games now, thanks to all the knowledge that you guys are dropping. Maybe I'll jump into the fade or follow on the NBA next week and make a few. Yeah, I'll miss a few in there. Yeah. I'm just trying to be like Buckets when he does the MLB picks and just it's all over the place. On this one, I'm actually going to go with the Astros. I know Shohei Ohtani's on the mound for the Angels, and that's why the Angels are favorites. One of the reasons. But the Angels are hot right now, and if there's anything we know from these Angels, it's whenever they get hot, the other shoe's about to drop. And the Astros should be better. I think they're probably still hung over from the World Series. I don't know if they need a little hair of the dog today, but I just have a feeling the tides are about to turn for both teams. Framber Valdez on the mound for the Astros. So I'm going to go with the Astros on that one.
I got to tell you guys know I live 20 minutes from the stadium, and where I live, it is Angels fever. They're going bananas. Real quick, Sniper, what did you make of the report that came out yesterday that Shohei potentially his average of his new contract could be, or not average, but could be as high as $524 million?
I think it's going to get up around 600 actually.
Really?
Once they start bidding. Yeah.
Wow. You know you're going to be able to bet on that. That's going to be something that every sports book will have. I can't wait to do that, Sniper, with you right here on the show. All right. So Sniper says Astros perhaps, even though Shohei is on the mound. All right. So M Squared, what do you say?
I'm going to lean to the Blue Jays side here. I want to pick on Aaron Nola just a little bit. Looking at a lot of his expected data, doesn't look super sharp so far this season. Looking at the fastball, the curveball has really been the only effective pitch. In terms of weighted on base average and expected data, he's well below Major League Baseball average on the fastball currently right now. When you get a lineup like this with a ton of power and a lot of threats at the plate, you tend to over-rely on the fastball out of necessity, needing to find the zone sometimes. I think that he could get hit around a little bit here.
Okay, so that's great information. Again, you got to watch live, hashtag. So, Mikey B, we've got a Blue Jays, we've got an Astros with great information for both. What say you?
Yeah, let's go one of each. I'll take the Red Sox at plus 158. We got the best odds there. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Nick Pivetta and Charlie Morton, neither of them are very good. Morton, his ERA is 3.38, but his FIP is higher at 4.10. He's got a 1.44 whip. I just don't trust him. I don't trust either of the pitchers in what I think is going to be a high-scoring game, so it could go either way. So let's go with the odds here and take the Red Sox at plus 158.
All right, we got one of each. So, Counselor, I'm imploring you, break said tie. Which dog do you like?
Yeah, we're going with the Toronto Blue Jays at plus 115. I agree with the sentiment that Nola hasn't been great. Certainly Manoah hasn't been great either, but I do want to say the last time out, the defense kind of dropped the ball a little bit, and I kind of mean that literally. A ton of errors in the infield. So I think they're really going to be pumped behind Manoah, and I think the Phillies are about to get hot, but this is a bad spot for them. I think the pitching matchup is relatively neutral, and I think the bats are relatively neutral as well. I assume Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to be in the lineup tonight. Either way, at plus money, I'll take the Blue Jays here.
You're damn right we will. Phillies, they've been so up and down. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Now, the other day, we kind of took it to a new level. Did we not, guys, with Pick the Prop? We picked not one, but two guys that went yard on said day. So, Fernando Tatis, plus 250. Peter Alonso, plus 300. Jordan Alvarez, plus 350. Buckets, I want you to type in the chat, who do you think is going to go yard today? And then everybody, do you agree with Buckets, yes or no? While you're doing that, I'm going to come to you, M Squared. Which one of these players are we going to cash with today?
That would be Pete Alonso today, Coach. Look, I love the hitting environment overall at Great American Ballpark, one of the most friendly parks in the league, especially for hitting home runs here like this. I love the matchup with Luke Weaver. It's got to be Alonso here for me.
All right, Sniper, talk to me.
Yeah, Luke Weaver already 5 home runs allowed in 16 innings pitched, 3 home runs in the only game he pitched so far this year in Great American Ballpark. Pete Alonso, got to love him anytime you can get him on a home run prop in a good ballpark against the homer-prone pitcher with good weather. I thought M Squared was going to steal it on that one. I wrote down good weather today. The other thing I always like about Pete Alonso is when he was a rookie, a lot of times you talk to people who major league or professional athletes who act like they don't have goals. They don't pay attention to their stats. At the All-Star break, he was on pace to shatter the Mets home run record. And I said, do you know what the Mets home run record is? And before I even finished, he said 41. And I was like, oh, he goes, yeah, I want it. I like guys like that. He admits he wants it. He's going to get one today.
Motivation. Use it for later. That's what we're talking about. That's why you got to listen. I love little stories like that. All right, Mikey B, I'm coming to you. We've got 2 Peter Alonsos. What do you say?
Yeah, make it 3. I won't belabor the point since we're all on it, but going back, Luke Weaver, since the start of the 2020 season, he's allowed 27 home runs over just 169 in the 3rd innings. He's definitely prone to giving up the long ball.
This is more than just a guess, ladies and gentlemen. Counselor, talk to me.
Luke Skywalker Weaver is going to need to use the force to have a good game against the Mets. I don't think Pete Alonso is going to get a home run here. I think he's going to get 2 home runs here. So let's go Luke Weaver at plus 300. Excuse me, Pete Alonso at plus 300.
I knew what you meant. Wow, maybe 2. Maybe 2. So all 4. Amazing, amazing information. Now, speaking of amazing information, last major was the Masters. We had Steve Scott, the amazing Steve Scott, on the early wedge. Well, guess what? Next week, he's going to be back with us again for another major, which we just happen to have right here at the company we call home, CBS.
One weekend in May, only the best are welcome. An invitation reserved for legendary players and future stars, challenging each other at one of the most extraordinary courses in the nation. A major moment awaits. The PGA Championship on CBS.
Only the best are welcome. Very similar to the early edge on a Tuesday with these 4. Only the best are welcome. Buckets, stay in the chat. So, as we start our week, yeah, we could have a winning day yesterday, but you guys know us. We're always looking forward. So I need energy today. Today's a big day for us. So if you don't mind, M squared, you know the drill, son. It doesn't matter if I'm sitting in a hotel room or I'm sitting in the studio or I'm home in the friendly confines. My man always brings it strong every single day. So M squared, if you don't mind, give it to me.
All right, Coach. Bringing the energy today. We're headed to Kansas City. We're taking the White Sox over 4.5 on the team total here. Minus 125 over on MGM this morning. Some people in the chat like the phrase picking on, so we're going to pick on Jordan Lyles here. First of all, the White Sox, the lineup is getting a little better. They're getting closer to full strength, but Lyles has been an absolute disaster so far. He throws 6 different pitches. He has already allowed a home run on each of the 6 individual pitches so far this season. 11 home runs already. Pretty decent weather overall with a little asterisk here. This game has a chance of having rain delays. It has a chance of being postponed. It all depends on where the storm pops up. If it's right over the ballpark, we could be in trouble. If it's 5 miles to the south, we're fine in this game. I like the high variance situation. I like the idea of potential delays. Love getting into that Royals bullpen, whether it's because Lyles was horrible the first trip through the order or we get there because of rain delays. Love the spot for the White Sox if they get this game in. 9 innings in that ballpark. Air density index, again, great for hitting in this particular spot. Not necessarily a massive home run park, but you've got the great equalizer in Jordan Lyles there. So give me the White Sox to score a 5th run. And then we are headed to the NBA. It's a play we made the other day with Devin Booker. We are making the same play with Kevin Durant tonight. We're going 40-plus points over on FanDuel right now at plus 500. This number is plus 425 in a few other spots. Now, when you play something like this, you need to understand what plus 500 means, right? So we want to translate the plus 500 into a probability of money line percentage. You can do that on SportsLine, by the way. We have a calculator. So plus 500 means 16.7% is the implied probability. When I look at the range of outcomes for Kevin Durant, when I make the adjustments for his usage and minutes, I have him achieving 40-plus points in 23% of simulations, meaning this number should be plus 335. Love this spot for Durant. It's very rare you get value on these kind of props. However, looking at the minutes played, 44, 42, 44, and 36. 36 was a blowout with CP3. Going back to the Clippers series, 44, 45, 42, 44, 45. The key difference, though, look at the last 2 games with Kevin Durant. He's scoring 35% of his points from the free throw line with the clock stopped. They're playing at a significant pace because it's the only way they can compete with Denver. I love Kevin Durant tonight. I think he's going to score 40 points.
Just let all of that breathe for a second. let that breathe for a second. When we talk about levels all the time on this show, hashtag levels, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you want to do that work? I didn't think so. All right, Mikey, extraordinary job. Extraordinary job. Now, where do I go next? Well, we already have a Kevin Durant go over 40, and he told you exactly why and what the numbers should be. But there's another stud, Mikey B, that also came up huge in the last 2 games. Who am I talking about?
Yeah, first of all, this is a tough following M squared with that. All that data. I feel dumb coming up after him, but I'll give it my best shot here. Who Coach is talking about is Devin Booker, over 31.5 points at minus 125. He's locked in. Game 3, 20 of 25 from the field. Game 4, 14 of 18. In those games, he had 47 and 36 points respectively. After scoring just 27 points in game 1, he scored at least 35 points in 3 straight games. He has the ball in his hands a lot more now with Chris Paul out, so I love the over 31.5 points. And then I got to do a baseball play. Let's go to the Rays and Orioles game. We'll do Rays money line at minus 130. I feel like anytime you can get the Rays to win at minus 175 or lower, you almost have to take it. They won the first game of the series 3-0. They're 29-7 for the season. They've outscored their opponents by 118 runs. Now they're facing Grayson Rodriguez. He has a 5.46 ERA and a 1.54 whip through 6 starts. What's scary is that 4 of his 6 starts have come against bad hitting teams in the Athletics, the Royals, and the Tigers. Starting for the Rays, Zach Eflin, 0.96 whip, 2 or fewer runs in 4 of his 5 starts. I can't resist a Rays money line at minus 130.
You can't. It almost like no matter who they're playing, if you see that number or less, you got to play it.
Amen.
Right, Sniper?
Yeah.
Feel that way?
Yeah, I'm down with that.
All right. Real quick in the chat, Ed says M squared's a savage. Best breakdown ever. My brain just gained a wrinkle. All that kind of stuff. We get it. We get it. We feel the same way. And he's on our team. He's on our team. All right. Now, it's a very difficult decision sometimes on who to give the final spot to. But today, it's just the gut. It's just the gut for me. But Sniper, I'm going to have you go next, sir. You're up.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so we're going to start with and it's a counselor, man. He's got to go last. He's the anchor. I get it. I'm going to start with Shane Bieber. The Guardians are hosting the Tigers right now and tonight, and the Tigers are playing way too well right now. So again, going with my theme earlier, the Tigers are due for a backslide. And they've been scoring a lot of runs recently, but overall, it's a bad offense. Especially, it's been really bad against righties this year. So I like Bieber. I'm going over 19.5 outs that we're going to need 6 2/3 innings. Don't fret. He threw 8 last time out, and that's against the Yankees. Before that, he threw 7 in the previous outing. He averages 6 2/3. So we just need him to have an average start. He was efficient last time out. He threw 93 pitches in his 8 innings. So if he's efficient like that, part of that is he's not striking out nearly as many guys. He struck out 4 in each of his last 5 outings. And we actually we rode the under prop on the strikeouts a couple times in there and hit it on that. I was actually thinking about going over on that tonight, but it's 6.5. So I think there might have been a lot of people thinking along with me that he's due to break through with a few strikeouts. So I don't love that. I think he's probably going to strike out around 6, but he's going to be efficient enough to get deep in the game. Another thing is the Guardians are struggling right now. I think they're a better team than the Tigers. Things will turn there. Terry Francona is going to ride Bieber because they need to get the W. They're kind of reeling right now. Like I said, Tigers are due for a backslide. Bieber 2.60 ERA versus the Tigers in 5 starts last season. So we're in good shape with that one. I think on the next one, Louis Varland. That's not a made-up name. Unlike Todd Gack, it is not a made-up name. Louis Varland of the Twins. He has an 80 grade name. Youngster. He has a lot of strikeouts in his minor league career. In 323 strikeouts and 253 innings, in the minors. Last time out, or so far in 2 outings. Jeez, I'm all messed up this morning. I see it's because I didn't go last.
That's what it is.
I'm reeling. 14 strikeouts and 10 2/3 innings so far this year for Varland. The Padres have never seen him. So as I like to say, that means that's an advantage for the pitcher. It's unfamiliarity. The weather's not going to be that great in Target Field. Again, another advantage for the pitcher. And the Padres have been terrible against right-handed pitchers this year, a 214 average. They're tied for the second worst K percentage in the majors against right-handers. I like Louis Varland to go over 4.5 strikeouts tonight.
Do you think, Sniper, that because of the new pitch clock and the sped-up games, that's helping pitchers like Bieber become more efficient and last longer in games?
That's tough to know. I thought that it would hurt guys who are maybe higher effort. Maybe Bieber's pitching more to contact, and that's kind of a byproduct of that. So he's not striking out as many. He's not going max effort. Maybe that's part of it. His velocity is down, so maybe that is part of it. I hadn't thought about that.
Well, you know me, I'm a next level capper. I think about things that other people don't think about. I mean, it's who I am. It's who I am. Sniper, thank you very much. Now, some in the chat said buckets should be the last spot on each show. No, he should not. However, I will tell you this. If you're a SportsLine member, then you've got picks from a bunch of different guys. The Guru, Buckets, our silent assassin, Brant Sutton, but you don't have a soccer pick from me. If you'd like to have those guys, you're more than welcome. Use a promo code early. I'll give you 30 days for free. After that, you're playing with house money. If you'd like to have the top soccer capper in the world, I'm going to give you Man City right now. Buy it down to pick 'em. Draw no bet. -156. Why? Man City is simply the best team in the world. Real Madrid, yes, they've been playing good this year, but in recent contests on the pitch, playing the footy, they just haven't been up to par. Certainly not Champions League par. So my play is Man City, draw no bet line, -156. That is how you pick a soccer match. Okay. Now, Sia Nejad, I've made you sit there wait long enough. But we all know whatever Sia shows up today, whether it's first five, whether it's, PGA Sia, it's going to be fire. Please tell me first five Sia is going to show up today.
Yeah, first five Sia is showing up. Actually, I'll start there because this is a little different of a bet than I normally make. It's a first five over in that Texas Rangers Seattle Mariners game, which is going to be featured late tonight. It'll be going on during the Nuggets game, which I also have a bet on, which I'll talk about in a second. But here, I just think it's too low a number. By the way, this is 3.5 over on FanDuel. It's -138. We've got Kirby versus Heaney. I still think the market is overvaluing both of these pitchers. Heaney's been sort of good and bad. If you recall, we had a bet on him in a first five last week, and it actually ended up hitting because the Rangers scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th, but Heaney wasn't very good there. He can sometimes miss the strike zone and lose batters. So I'm kind of leaning on that, but also Kirby against the A's last time out, he wasn't very good either, although he has been good in a larger sample size. But 3.5 in a Rangers game is just not enough runs. And the Rangers, they only scored that team total, or I should say the total in last night's game was only 3, but the Rangers had some bats sitting out. It was a travel day for them. I expect a full complement of bats. Anytime I'm seeing a 3.5 total in a first five for both teams, and it's a Rangers game, unless it's an ace like Zach Gallen, I'm playing the over here. So instead of a first five money line play, I'm taking the Mariners Rangers first five over 3.5 runs at -138. Nuggets -4.5. That's my next one. If you are a member of SportsLine, you got this 2 nights ago, and therefore you're not having to pay the 5.5 price that it is now. Frankly, I still like the 5.5, but there's a reason I put the 4.5 in 2 nights ago because I knew this line would grow. Bottom line, better team, better depth, mile high air at home. Even if Durant and Booker are as efficient as they were the last 2 games, which I don't really expect both of them to be that good, but even if they are, I think the Nuggets run away with this one because I don't think those role players or those bench players like Shamet and Ross are going to explode like they did in the fourth quarter, particularly with Shamet last time out. So I really like the Nuggets. I think they're the far and away better team. I think they run away with this one, and I do think they win by double digits. Give me the Nuggets -4.5.
Fayaz says he is invited to my wedding. He's my financial advisor without knowing that he really is. Very, very true. Very true. Sia's on fire. That's very true as well. However, Sia, this series is tied 2 games apiece, yes?
It is.
So that means the Suns have won the last 2 games, correct?
That's also correct.
Which would mean they would have the momentum right now, would they not?
I actually would contest that theory because they barely won those 2 games at home. I actually don't think they have much momentum at all.
I just saw a smile on Mikey's face because I think he's already picked up on where I'm going here.
It's coming.
See, I have one question for you. Are you in or are you out?
Well, Coach, I have to ask you a question. Are we going with the 4.5, 5, 5.5? What line are we getting?
4.5. I'm 4.5. That's the line you just gave out.
Oh boy, Coach.
I'm seeing 5.5.
Am I in? I hope that's a rhetorical question. Play the music. Let's go.
It's gonna be a showdown. Oh, me and the counselor. We haven't gone toe-to-toe, tete-a-tete for a minute, but I'm here for it. So here for anybody that's brand new to this show, a little showdown. Sia's got the Nuggets minus 4.5. I've got the Suns plus 4.5. Whoever wins has to pay the other person by midnight is $100. Cool, cold, hard cash. If you don't think you can be a part of it, we have done showdowns with the audience also. Completely interactive. But tonight, I'm just taking Sia's money. I'm just taking it. Oh, man. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of the Snake on the ones and the twos. M squared, 2 big plays today. White Sox team total over 4.5, minus 125. Kevin Durant to score at least 40. That's plus 500. And he told you that his numbers, his algorithm, should be around the plus 3, plus 350. We're getting incredible value here. Then, Sia Nejad, Nuggets, minus 4.5. Again, I'm on the other side of it, plus 4.5. Rangers, Mariners, first 5, over 3.5, minus 138. Would you play it at 4, Sia? Somebody in the chat said their sports book, it's at 4, around even money, I think.
Well, 4 is an even better number. I'd be shocked if it's minus 4. I think they mean 5 or 5.5. I mean, I would probably still play the 5.
The over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Over. The first 5 over to 4.
Forgive me. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of the win equity out, but I do think this gets to 5 in the first 5. So yeah, I would take it if it's like plus 100 or even, that's the same thing as even money, or like maybe even minus 105. I'd probably take it there.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. By the way, clown coach. Matthew said clown coach. Wow, so stiff.
Jeez.
So stiff. The snipers on Shane Bieber over 19.5 outs recorded, minus 105. Then Louis Varenne. Yes, it's a real name. Over 4.5 Ks, minus 120. Then Mikey B, the aficionado. Rays money line, minus 130. He said it best. You get this number on the Rays. I don't care who they're playing. You play it. Then Devin Booker. He will go off again. Over 31.5 points, minus 125. And your resident soccer capper, hashtag levels. I'm going Man City, draw no bet, minus 156. A little juicy, but sometimes, damn it, when you're talking about the Champions League, live on Paramount Plus, live on CBS, live wherever you can get the game, I'm talking Man City. That's what we're doing. Do not forget, Early Edge and 5 later today at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, 1 hour before that at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, the Early Wedge. We're breaking down the Byron Nelson, me, the counselor, and Patrick McDonald. And then next week, Steve Scott back on the Early Wedge as well. So with all that being said, really good day today. Really good start to the week. But we've got to keep it going. We're just getting started. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. Right tire crew, Lobo. M squared, counselor, sniper, Mikey B, the Snake, buckets in the chat. The crew is everywhere. We grind for you. Damn it, today's going to be a good day so we can win with you. It's what we're all about at the Early Edge.